It became one of Hollywood's most successful movies. But behind the scenes, there were injuries, controversy, and stories so disturbing they were hidden from the audiences for decades. So what really happened on the set of The Wizard of Oz? The truth is far darker than you might think. Let's talk about it. From the get-go, the production was something of the like Hollywood had never done before. Multiple of Hollywood's biggest and best directors worked on the film, including Victor Fleming and King Vidor. Actors came from all corners of America to audition for a role. MGM pushed about $3 million into the production of the movie, which would be about $63 million today. But the one bit they didn't invest any money into was the safety on set. The first person cast as the Tin Man was Buddy Ebsen. To make his skin look like metal, the makeup department used aluminum powder on him, which Buddy breathed in for multiple days while shooting. That was until he collapsed on set. He couldn't breathe and his body was cramping up. He was brought to the hospital, which thankfully saved his life, but he struggled with breathing problems for the rest of his life. Because he couldn't work anymore, he was replaced with Jack Haley. Jack was never told what had happened to Buddy, and why he had to leave the set. To stop Jack from inhaling the dust, the makeup department decided to mix the powder into a paste, which they believed would make it safer. It didn't. During shooting, Jack all of a sudden got severe eye infections that required surgery, caused by the aluminum. But the Tin Man costume wasn't the only problem. The costume of the Cowardly Lion, which was made out of real lion fur, weighed between 60 and 90 pounds. Actor Burt Lahr had to wear the costume for hours under the burning studio lights, which caused him to sweat a lot, and this made the costume even heavier. Ray Bolger, who played the Scarecrow, was even worse off. His mask was glued on. This and the intense heat of the studio lights caused his face to be marked, with deep lines that took well over a year after filming finished to fade. Which was, as you can imagine, a huge problem for an actor. But even worse, his costume was filled with asbestos. This was done to make the straw fireproof. Ray died in 1987 from bladder cancer. While this was never formally attributed to the filming, his co-star Burt Lahr also died from cancer in 1967. Asbestos, which both actors were surrounded with on the set, is a known cause for cancer. The costumes weren't the only problem, though. There were massive safety issues with the props and effects on set. Margaret Hamilton, who played the Wicked Witch of the West, only barely survived a terrible accident. The scene where the witch disappears in a ball of flames in Munchkinland went wrong. Hamilton was supposed to disappear out of the fire with a lift that was supposed to bring her below the stage before the flames took over. But it didn't work. Her heavy cloak and the green makeup, made up of copper, caught fire. She suffered from third-degree burns, which left her not only traumatized, but also with scarring. Her stunt double was also severely injured during the same scene, when a smoke machine exploded. Several of the actors playing the flying monkeys were injured when the thin piano wires that were used to suspend them in the air snapped, and they fell on the hard, unpadded studio floor. The snow used in the poppy field scene was asbestos mixed with plaster, which all of the actors breathed in. As I said before, asbestos is known to cause cancer. But the producers didn't just not care about the safety. They also didn't care how they treated their leading actress, Judy Garland. Originally, MGM wanted Shirley Temple to play Dorothy. After that didn't work out, they landed on Judy. But there was a massive problem. Judy Garland was 16, and Dorothy was supposed to be no older than 10. To make her look younger, they tightly bound her breasts, which caused her to be barely able to breathe. And they fed her diet pills to stop her from eating and make her body look more childlike. They also gave her cigarettes, copious amounts of caffeine pills, and amphetamine to keep the starving girl going through the grueling long days. Because she then couldn't sleep anymore, they also gave her sleeping pills and sedatives. And because all of that wasn't enough, director Fleming even hit the young girl if she so much as dared to giggle during filming. Garland later said that her work on The Wizard of Oz was the start of her later struggle with addiction, which unfortunately ended her life when she was only 47.